Welcome to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Council. I'm Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. It's our pleasure, our honor to facilitate this event every single month. We do it on the third Tuesday right here at the Community Center on Oroso. We throw in coffee and Danish. It's free. It's open to the public, which we have a lot of the public today, which I always enjoy. We're going to be visiting with Vice Mayor Caraballo in just a few minutes, but I want to get started, as we always do, with our sponsor. And this month, for the first time on this show ever, you're going to be Port St. Lucie famous, even more than you are now. Please welcome Larry Neese from Larry Neese Roofing and Construction. All right, Larry, you and I have been friends for a while now, but this is the first time you've done this show. Just so you know, if you go to a Publix after 9 in Port St. Lucie after this, people will think they know you, but they won't be able to place you. Usually they're like, do you work at the bank? Or do you work with my cousin at the plant? And you're like, no, you don't know where you saw me, but you did see me on TV. So tell us about Neese Roofing. How long have you guys been in business? How long have you been here?
All right, so we were founded in 2010. We really got up and running in about 2014. We're local ran business, all family. 3 of my 4 sons all work in the business. 2 of them are owners. My wife, Christine, of 32 years, she's also in the business. And it's just a big, giant family-run operation. We have multiple family members throughout our company. Some of our employees, their brothers, their mothers work at the company, so we're very family-oriented. And
yeah, and people don't know this about you, but you do speak Creole because you lived on the islands growing up. And what brought you here, and what were you doing over there?
So my parents are missionaries. They were missionaries when I was a kid, so we started in Haiti in 1982. I grew up there. My whole childhood from 12 to 17 was spent in Haiti. I speak the language very fluently, almost as well as I speak English. As I'm getting older and, you know, some of these things are setting into my memory, I'm losing a little bit, but I do speak it very fluently. My dad is he's at my house right now, leaving back to Africa, where he's been for 28 years. And he's basically retiring. He's going back for 5 months, coming home for 8 months, and just checking to see if he really can go back. But he's built a huge life of working in God's kingdom all over the world. So
I love that, and I think a lot of people, when they meet you, they don't think, oh, that's a man that speaks Creole and, you know, grew up in the islands. And so
it's awesome at yard sales.
I've always wanted to speak Mandarin, but I can't do it, you know, because it's like the hardest language in the world. But yeah, I want to know what people are saying about me.
Right.
So, but what brought you to Fort Pierce?
So back in 2004, when Gene and Francis came through, I was working for a big roofing company in Central Florida. A man here who had been around for 38 years, Robert E. Stein. He was Stein & Company's first or second largest company in St. Lucie County at that time. He had reached out to a guy that was at my company and said, listen, I'm looking for somebody who can run big, large amounts, high volume of roofing. And he put me together. My wife and I and the kids always wanted to live on the coast. When I was 18, we flew out of Fort Pierce with Missionary Flights International for our first trip to Haiti when we moved there. So it was very neat. So we moved down. It quickly became home. You know, all the boys went to school here. They all graduated from all local high schools here in the area. So, but that's what brought us down. I eventually made a deal and came down in 04, and that was the end of that.
Very nice. And you've gotten so involved in our community. I think many people think you've been here for, you know, decades because you're so involved in everything that goes on here, and we appreciate that. When you come in, you start a small family-owned business. I think getting to know your community, getting involved in your community is always the best way to go. I see people all the time try to mimic the route that you took with doing that, and you know I do. But I think that there's also things about your company that sets it apart, and that is the service and how you do business. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
So yeah, so we've set out to, we named it after ourselves. You know, it's Neese Roofing. That was in part of my wife. She's like, you need to make sure that you name it your name, and then make sure that that's how you run your business, to where that will always be the benchmark of everything. So
Your name's on it, so it better be good.
That's right. So, and that's our thing, is we're not just your roofer. We're actually a community service and a customer service company that really just happens to do roofing. You know, I've done it since I was 18 years old, so I've been a roofer all of my life. But we run it like that. If you call us, we do have a warranty, but basically if your warranty expires, if there's a problem, I'm coming out no matter what, we're taking care of it. If you're 6, 7, 8, 10 years, 10 years old, there's no end to our commitment, no matter what the paper says. So.
Yeah, and you don't take a great deal of insurance. I mean, you do insurance claims to some degree, right?
So we don't do any insurance work whatsoever. Now, if you have damage, we would come out and say, listen, I see it. Here's what you've got. If you file a claim and you would like us to come and meet the adjuster there just to talk, but we don't file any papers. We don't lock you into contracts, but we will help you all the way through. Yeah, we haven't done insurance work since 2017. So.
Yeah, and that's different than most roofers. I mean, they talk about part of our insurance issues here in Florida were aggressive sales in terms of claims on roofs. And they can't blame Larry Neese for that because he doesn't do it.
Yeah, we don't knock any doors. If you call us, we'll take care of you. But, yeah, we're not going to knock on your door ever.
Good. Well, I, for one, appreciate everything you do. You know that. We have been friends, and I feel like we're getting closer as the years goes by. You and your entire family. Christine is lovely. So, but I feel that you have integrity, and you're an honorable man. And I think that's important in business owners. So I appreciate that very much.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for sponsoring this month.
Absolutely. And I have my son, Derek, in the back. He's number 2 or number 3, the brothers that are owners. They fight over that position. All boys. So we have 4 sons. I have one that lives in Ohio, but he is not working in the family business, but he does have our first grandbaby daughter that just turned 6 months.
I know. You're very proud of that grandbaby daughter. Well, Derek, when are you going to? He's left the building.
Soon.
Well, thanks again, Larry. I appreciate it. Thanks for being with us.
All right. Thank you very much.
And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Vice Mayor Caraballo. Welcome back to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Council, and guess what? We finally have representation from the council. We just spoke with Larry Neese, our sponsor for this month, a little bit, but now I want to welcome to the show the one, the only Vice Mayor of this beautiful city, Jolene Caraballo.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Vice Mayor.
Thank you for having me.
Always nice to see you. I know you went to the wrong place this morning because we were in the building room because they had an event here last time you did the show. But you can see we're a little too crowded for the building room anymore, right?
I know. It's always great. You know, originally I remember when you started doing this years and years ago, we used to have it in the community center, and then we switched it up a bit. Now we're back home where I think it should belong, and we have room to grow, and it's nice and packed today. So more tables next time.
I think that this is such a better setup because, former Mayor Patricia Christensen remembers, but we used to have tables and it was a little more casual, but doing it at the dais or in the chambers was a little too formal. Mm-hmm. We really weren't getting people to come out and enjoy the show. So now I feel like we've moved the needle on that.
Yeah, it's all about the place, right? You know, they want to sit in there. They can do that in a council meeting, but that's usually where people come to take their naps.
It is just a little too formal. It seems a little too stiff. So this is so much easier. You grab coffee and a Danish and sit down. We spoke yesterday briefly, and you have a lot to tell us today. So much to tell us. First of all, the port is open.
The port in Port St. Lucie is now here. It is open.
It is.
Woohoo!
I saw beautiful pictures. I mentioned last month that I was going to be there, but I was not able to be there. I just was, my body gave out after my election results. I had a little PTSD.
Say it isn't so.
Yeah. So I had a little PTSD and my body was just heavy. And I was like, Pat, I can't be there because I really wanted to be there for the Historical Society.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. And it allows me now to make up for it by donating some money to the Historical Society.
Yeah, and just too, I didn't even announce it at this council meeting. I as well, along with Teresa and Councilman Pickett, was elected unopposed this past week. So you're stuck with me for another 4 years.
Yes. And you get me in an additional position in the community for 4 years. So,
It's going to be we have a great, delegation throughout the entire local and the state and we're very lucky to have you coming on board in the school board and with the leadership there in the future, really helping to shape our children. And I think that's such an important role. So I appreciate you serving.
Schools are a vital part of any community, and this is the perfect time. I've been through the schools with my kids. I don't have any kids in the system now. I have no agenda. I really just want to do what's best for our community and our kids.
That's awesome. And speaking of kids,
okay,
they were excited
about the port.
You know, we talked about a wild playground, and I had so many renderings, obviously, of the actual park, and then got an opportunity to tour it a few times as it was being built. Yep. And I felt in my heart, you know, traveling throughout the state and as well as in the country, that I had never seen a playground at that type of design, and just how it integrated play in a different way than what we typically even grew up with.
It's more accessible. It's friendlier use. And
more creative, you know, in the sense of how they interact with, you know, like even the alligator, the big alligator there, and the schooner, and just the thought behind the different age and the interactions as well as abilities. It was just so well thought out. And I always said I venture to find a playground as amazing and innovative in the public sector as this particular playground. And I have to tell you, as I'm walking through the park, and there's no other, you know, it's funny, it's like these are your children, like your projects are your children, your citizens are your family. And and I'm sitting there like a proud mother of this project, of one of 5, and then also don't forget our 1,400 employees that make it happen, right? And I'm walking around, I'm watching the kids interact, and then just to see, which I expected to be excited about the children, but the parents' faces actually gave me even more joy. Just to see the parents bringing their children and being like, oh my God, this is amazing. I had a family that just moved from Washington, D.C., and I'm in D.C. A few times a year on behalf of the city. Mm-hmm. And they were like, hi, you know, Vice Mayor, it's so nice to meet you. We just moved from D.C. There is nothing like this over there. This playground is amazing. And so when you think of a place like, you know, D.C., a metropolitan urban area, that this is part of usually their designs, it's very common for them to have these types of interactive features throughout their community. You just sit there and you're like, you know, for them to even say that, it's like, I was right. I knew I was right. There's nothing like this anywhere. And I'm very proud of it.
Well, I heard it was crowded both Saturday and Sunday, so that's very, very nice.
So I heard from the president of the Historical Society yesterday, which it was Monday, and she told me she couldn't even find a parking space to park at
Sunday?
On Monday.
On Monday?
On Monday. There wasn't a parking space to park.
Well, parking's a little limited, I'm not going to lie. So,
it is.
Yeah.
But still, there's over 200 spaces.
Yeah, that's true.
So
but it is, everybody is fascinated. I have not been able to get in yet, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to get in. Timing is everything, so I'm hoping to do that probably during the week sometime, to be honest.
And you know, the restaurant component's coming.
Yep.
And so that's also, there's renderings on site. If you walk towards the banyan tree, for those who haven't visited, you can go right to the back of the site and actually see the restaurant components that will be coming. And now that you're on the school board, I think an important topic too to discuss is the vision of the council in the future and the interaction with the children as well, to have the ability to visit the botanical gardens with the historical museums, plus you have the playground, plus you even have opportunities for quick bites to eat, because part of the concept's going to have quick bites. And then it's my hope that we spoke about a park ranger program where we would actually have parks individuals provide educational components and, you know, walk around and interact with youth. I mean, there's just so much opportunity for our youth and to understand, to get closer to nature and get closer to their community.
I'm excited about it. It's something that I would push. You know, we have the Navy SEAL Museum and the Historical Museum in Fort Pierce for the county, and we have not had something specific to Port St. Lucie, so I'm going to push they don't typically do field trips, but summer camps and after-school programs do, and I'm going to be pushing for that quite a bit. And finally, Leadership St. Lucie is going to be able to come somewhere on History Day in the city of Port St. Lucie, so good stuff.
Yeah, the Historical Society has officially moved into their first home. They will eventually have 2. And we've got to work on getting the grant funding and the funding to be able to rehab fully
the second house.
The second house, or the original house, which is the original Peacock house. But, they have a home, and, Port St. Lucie is a young city. It was incorporated in 1961, so it's a baby still in history. But it was my desire, council desires, and obviously the Historical Society's desire to start capturing history at the very beginning, at the forefront of our time. And I think that it's a really great opportunity for us to really create a special place.
And I want to thank the members of the Historical Society. Some of them have been on there from the beginning, Patricia and Christine Williams from the Shell Bazaar. They have been working to capture these, and they have had the wherewithal to videotape many leaders throughout the last 30, 40 years, which is going to be forever entombed at that historical center. So thanks to all of them.
Absolutely. And if you have history to contribute, make sure that you contact the Historical Society, because I know as people move, or unfortunately some people do pass on, and you're going through your family's heirlooms, you never know what might be historical. So if there's something that you see and you think that it's worthy of history, please make sure you contact them.
Yep. And get down to see the port, everybody, because it is beautiful. I saw lots of pictures. I will be there by the end of the week, I promise.
I hope you will be.
I will be. I want to be.
So,
what
you talk about, well, we got plenty. So,
I know.
As District 4 rep, and I'm very proud of the eastern side of my city, and I want to make sure that we are capturing what's best. I think we have a lot going on the west side we're very proud of as well, but I'm going to make sure we focus on the east side.
You always do, yes.
And so I really want to thank our city manager. He escalated a challenging project for us, which was Village Green Drive.
I was just going to say Village Green looks good.
If you've driven down Village Green Drive, based upon just the travel, but more importantly, all the construction that's occurred with the Crosstown Bridge over time, that actual road had deteriorated fairly quickly. Funding is always a challenge, and we were able to use some of the Crosstown funds to deal with some of the roads that were impacted by the build, but Village Green was not one of them that was eligible. And so we had to find about $3 million to get it repaved. And the city manager found the funds, and God bless that man. He got it done, because I was getting calls every day, and we were just like scrambling to try to find it, and we were able to find it. So I was really, really happy about that.
Good. And I know that the mayor, her district, has been working on Port St. Lucie. We talk about it every month. But I don't want to neglect the east side of the city. I mean, there's a lot of projects that need to be done, and this was one that was very vital. So thank you for escalating that and being passionate about it. And
then Floresta, that's on the move. And so right now, if you're down Floresta, there's a portion where you cannot head southbound, and you're going to be detoured. And right now what they're getting ready to do is they're doing this, what is an oval shaped roundabout. I know some people don't like the roundabouts. I love the roundabouts. I just don't love it when people don't use them correctly. But the roundabouts, obvious, and we've got data to show that they're very efficient in moving traffic. Yeah. And that is really the goal, is to move traffic. And for those that don't understand road transportation, and what I've learned over the years, when traffic is holding, that's really what affects, and the level and the amount of cars on the road is what affects your rating. And so keeping that traffic moving is really, really essential. And so that's why the roundabouts are so important. And then also safety. The ability to, I can't say that an accident isn't going to happen in a roundabout. We've seen them in the paper. But the intensity of an accident in a roundabout in comparison to a four-way stop really does save lives. Far less. You're not really getting the speed up that would cause, major injuries, maybe damage, but not injuries. But you said something that was vital, and it keeps traffic moving, but only if you keep moving and don't ever stop in a roundabout. Yes, once you get in, keep going. Keep going until you're out. But the oval roundabout is a new concept, because this is the first time our city's going to see this concept. I can't wait for the people that show up, because, they still love the Michigan, left at Floresta and Crosstown. So now you're going to throw something else in that same area. We are innovative, my friend. We are innovative. Yeah, you're going to get lots of love notes. No, but I think this one's going to be a little different, because it's one of those things where the way I see it is, it's because it's so linear. It's a long oval. It's going to feel more like almost like a long, just when you have sort of a median. Sort of, yes, that's what I was looking for, a medium. Thank you. I got you. I'm only on my second cup, people, so give me. I've only had one today. I don't even know why I forgot to get coffee. Well, you have to do something about that. I know. But the median is going to be, it's going to be like a long median, like you said. And then what's really neat about it, and that's really what's important for those that live on Floresta or near Floresta, or have to travel down there on 3 o'clock, everyone knows there's a school. And to get around that school zone is almost impossible. And so they really created an extended turn lane. We work closely with the school board on the design on this to hopefully get parents in and out and continue to keep traffic moving even during those busy times. So that's coming. And then I got to remind everyone of 4th of July and our Freedom Fest. And so
that's a huge event and a good event and thousands of people.
Yeah, that's actually, I want to venture to say, I don't know where my staff is, and Christina, I think that's the largest event, right? I believe by far, into the many thousands. It's the largest event, and we will have a VIP experience. There's an additional cost for that. I highly recommend going. I pay for my family to go. It includes your full meal.
Yep, I pay for my parents to go.
Yeah,
we're doing something else this year, but yes, it is a great deal.
Yeah, it's great. And you get a break indoors because obviously you get to go inside the Mid-Florida Event Center, and great meal. They have a bar, and and they put dancing, music. There's activities for the kids. And like I said, it gives you a break from the heat before you have to go back out for the fireworks. Oh, and you also get terrace access for the fireworks.
Special viewing area.
Yeah, it's a great viewing area. And so I highly recommend that. And then I guess how much time we got left? Do we have time for the youth council?
No, go ahead. Of course. No, I want to make sure that you get to tell everybody everything they need to know.
So for those that don't know, I grew up in this community, and one of the things I got to do before I even ever thought about running for office was I was actually a member of our youth council. And I wanted to actually be an attorney before I got into this field, and that never happened. But we didn't have a lot of government classes or a lot of law classes, so it was government.
Yeah.
And I ended up being Nina Baranski's intern during public relations back when she was here.
Love Nina.
Yeah, she was amazing. And she's in Georgia now, enjoying retirement. But I ended up being assigned to the youth council, representing at the time late Mary Ann Cernuto, Councilwoman Cernuto, in the district. And so it was an honor and a privilege to do that. So I'm very passionate. The last year or so, we started our youth council. We have some fantastic children that are part of our youth council, and I'm sure they'll be on the council with me or with someone at some point in time, if not with me.
Anthony Bonnet was a young Floridian. I've known him since he was 15 years old, and he is on the council now, right?
Absolutely.
And a trusted confidant, so yeah.
And be part of the community and help shape the decisions of the council, because we will take their input serious when they provide.
They're honest, and they certainly probably have a perspective that we're not able to understand.
Yeah, I mean, their master plan, like they put together a master plan for City Center. The ideas are almost in some collaboration to what we're currently doing.
Love it.
So it's pretty fantastic. And, when the kids are agreeing with you, you're like, okay, maybe we are doing something right too. Especially if you can't, who can get a teenager to agree with them? I have one. And on a good day, if she agrees with me once, it's like a win. It's like, woo!
Yeah. I remember those days. Mine are grown now. It gets better.
And you said Dave and Buster's you guys talked about last time.
We did. It's up. It's operational. It's crowded every day, and people love it. And
Did you go?
Yeah,
I haven't gone.
I was there. Listen, the VIP party the first night was like, when I say VIP, it was pretty VIP.
I wasn't invited.
No.
I was not invited to the VIP party.
Your assistant says you were.
I didn't see the invitation.
She says you were. I can't imagine you weren't.
I'm just letting you know I want to play arcade games.
Well, we are doing a ribbon cutting, so you'll be there then. Wear your tennis shoes, because I get real competitive, and we'll play arcade games.
Oh, it's on.
Okay,
it's on. Who's taking score?
All
right. Do we get a trophy?
I will make a trophy. I will buy a trophy.
And I think that's all I've got. So.
Okay.
Do you have any questions or anything I can?
Well, what we'll do is we will end the show as we always do, because we don't do questions on camera. And we always say, come on down if you want to ask your questions, because the council is an open book, but they have to be careful of sunshine and all that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So they need to be answering these questions outside of cameras. So we'll take a break, and then we'll start taking some questions.
Perfect. And just real quick, I always like to promote Pulse Points.
Yeah.
This is where I got all my information today to remind me of the great things that are happening in the city. Please sign up for them. And that way you can stay informed in a very abbreviated fashion. You don't have to read 15 pages to know what's going on.
I know. It's only like 2 sides. I love it. All right, well, I want to thank Michael from Steamworks Coffee, always here without fail.
My Sunday spot. What are you talking about?
He's the best. His whole family's the best. It's a locally run, owned business. For the love of Michael, get out there and support Steamworks on US 1 in your district.
Yes, I agree with that statement, except when I can't find a seat.
Well, listen, I wish that for him every day.
I know I do too.
Yeah, so I'm happy about that. And then, of course, Larry Neese for being our sponsor today, his first time on the show. And you know as well as I do, Larry has been such an asset to our community. So we appreciate that. And every single one of you for coming, and the 10 of you that are going to ask the Vice Mayor questions in moments.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody, to the staff, my staff, and Vice Mayor Carabala. Have a great day.